Hey guys, James Walker with TurnkeyInvest.com. I just got out of the field this beautiful Saturday in Memphis, Tennessee. Looked at about 18 different properties that we have under construction. Most of them are sold because we have such an influx of investors wanting to get into something tangible, and that's Memphis real estate. So today I'm going to walk you through the website, talk to you about a couple of things we have coming up, some available properties, and how to best use the tools I'm giving you on TurnkeyInvest.com to navigate transparently and fully on your own, and assistance with us if you like, but I give you all the information on this website that a diligent investor needs to say, you know what, this house might be a fit for me, or eliminate it altogether and move on to the next property. I just put all the information out there up front so that you can see the good, bad, and ugly and where this house is going to end up after a full renovation for everybody to see. So I'll share screen now. When you sign into Turnkey Invest, or when you log in to TurnkeyInvest.com, the home screen has got a lot of useful information. I don't have filler on here. Everything's been thought out diligently. And, let's just take a minute and look at the home screen. So building generational wealth through investing in real estate, this is what many of my investors are seeking. This is not just a get rich quick or sheltering money for tax reasons, which, we want to make money. We want to pay less taxes. That's one of the reasons we buy real estate. Many of my investors have the same story. They live somewhere where it's too expensive or properties aren't available, and Memphis, Tennessee is a great place for them to grow a rental portfolio. We make investing in rental properties simple. That is my whole goal here. Now, I'd say we make it simple on you. There's nothing simple about what we're doing. The acquisitions process in itself is an hour-long video that I could take to explain. Number one, finding the neighborhoods that we want to own and manage rental properties in, identifying those neighborhoods, marketing towards people that would sell us their home that's in need of repair. We bring it back to current day standards. That attracts an awesome tenant. We manage it in-house with Foundation Property Management. It's all the things an out-of-state investor needs under one roof to succeed, and that wraps up. That's what TurnkeyInvest.com is. We want to make it simple on our investors so that they're ready to add that second or 20th property to their portfolio. Hey, I'm coming to James Walkup at TurnkeyInvest.com because they did a good job for me. They found a house in a good neighborhood. The renovation was stellar. That attracted a good tenant. Hey, that's the kind of properties any property manager wants to manage. The certified properties. So each of the properties is inspected by a third-party home inspector to give you a non-biased look at the craftsmanship, material that was gone into this full renovation on the property. So you know exactly what you're buying. We build brand new houses as rentals. This is a bit of a dying dinosaur. It's going extinct because it's hard to find a piece of land affordable enough to build a house and it would still cash flow. Our proven track record, right now, we're above 98% occupied on our finished houses. Most of our homes are renting while they are under renovation. Now, I'd like to take all the credit for that, but that really goes to the first point, which is buying in the right neighborhoods. If you're buying in the wrong neighborhood, I don't care how good of a renovation you do. A lot of it comes from referrals from our existing tenants. They know to send their friends, family, church members, coworkers to me because they like the house they're renting, and that speaks volumes. And then our in-house property management is really the secret sauce that ties it all together, because anybody can buy a property, renovate it, sell it to someone in California or Israel or Australia, but to be involved in the whole process, create a relationship with our investors that is long-lasting, decades long, that's a whole different story. So when we're involved in each step of the process, everything is reverse engineered and thought out with the ideal outcome in mind before a property is ever purchased or renovated or anything ever happens. Click on that button to learn how it works. We're actually going to go through that at the end of this video. If you stick around, this is going to be a little bit longer video, but we'll get into the meat of some properties very soon, I promise. If you're able to create an investor profile, we're going to ask you for a little bit more personal information. But what this does is it loads my team with the information we need to best serve you. If you tell me, look, James, I'm looking to buy one property and see how it goes. Okay, well, I know that I can find you a property. If your goal is to own 100 properties in Memphis, Tennessee, in B class areas that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage, and you've really defined it that well, that gives me a lot more power to go out and find you those houses. If you tell us a little bit about your strategy, we'll be able to help be a catalyst to help you get there, is what that investor profile is for. So take a minute and fill that out if you really want to work closely with our team. Look, if you tell me, James, I want 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes with 2-car garages in certain parts of town, and every one of them painted purple, it's my job to go out and make that happen. Speak with one of our experts. So click on that button to schedule a call. I'd love to jump on the phone with you, do a Zoom meeting, meet you here in person. Yes, people are traveling to Memphis again. So we have had several people in our office recently. We were wearing masks, we were using social distancing, but we got out, we looked at properties. We showed them Memphis. A lot of times it's their first time to Memphis. So we get them acquainted with Memphis geographically. They get to meet my team and see what we're doing that makes this possible for all of our investors. And I tell people all the time, we're not doing anything new and inventive. We are doing basic real estate consistently. We make a lot of offers to buy a few homes. We have a very easy renovation process because we use the same paint color on the walls, the same paint on the cabinets, the same appliances, roof, HVAC. It's just like McDonald's. We have a process down and it comes out the other side very predictably. Maybe we're more like a little bit more upper scale, Wendy's. Just last year we added $16 million. There are 16 million current single family resident rentals in the United States. By 2030, and that's going to be here before we know it, won't it? There will be another 13 million added. Now, what is that saying? That a lot of people are waking up and saying, this stock market hasn't treated me well. I need something tangible. The word is out that owning single family homes in areas of the country that are more linear, meaning there's not a huge appreciation and there's not a lot of dips when that economy does slow down, that's a safe place for me to put my money, and the tax benefits are amazing. It also says that institutional buyers are stepping in a big way. Wall Street is buying houses, no questions asked. Zillow is now a home buyer. In certain locations, I'm sure one day nationwide, if you want to sell your house, you can go on Zillow, and within 48 hours, they'll give you a price to purchase it cash. So the big players are getting into this game in a big way, is what that number really means to me. Yes, a lot of mom and pops, I'm a mom and pop compared to Zillow and Wall Street, own houses, and will continue, that number will rise, but Wall Street and the big guys have jumped in the game hugely. So we're proud to give back to our community. We aren't just here growing our investors' portfolios, our own portfolio, our business. Every week we are growing our business in knowledge and team members and processes and systems that make all of this possible. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, in my opinion, the most amazing place on earth. It's a huge, huge employer in Memphis. Right now they have a $9 billion investment in Memphis underway. It's not speculatory. They have scraped and raised city blocks to build skyscrapers to do the most important thing of all, which is save these young children from cancer. So every sale we have, every time we close a house with an investor, we give a donation to St. Jude. It's just a small way for us to give back. I met with my team. We voted and we said, no questions asked. There's not another charity that we would be involved in or would want to be involved in, picking one, than St. Jude. So that's kind of cool. Our story, Foundation Property Management, how we founded that, what we do, how we do it, a little blurb there, but you can click the button that says learn more and read more about us. A few articles that I've been humbled and honored to be in and asked to speak into on the website. If you hang out on the website long enough, this little box is going to pop up. And now this is a really cool thing we do every year. So every year I bring investors into town and we create a mastermind. So this is a chance to be in a room with 30 to 50 investors who are doing the same thing you're doing or considering doing, which is investing in single family homes from afar in Memphis, Tennessee. So while you're at this event, you will meet my team. You will meet the lenders, the closing attorney, the hazard insurance provider, tax advisors, everybody that I've assembled as part of our gift to you, the investor. Here it all is on a silver platter. Most of you guys, take advantage of all the different aspects of what we bring to the table as far as our team. You can choose a la carte. So if you want to use your own insurance provider, that's fine. But we want to show you the people that we're using personally, and you can pick and choose which of those you use. When you sign in to look at the properties, you'll see a lot of properties that are under renovation. So the majority of my homes are sold under renovation. And how is that possible? How could you buy 4100 Maumee Street in the Whitehaven area with that picture? Well, I'm going to show you. So this is what I meant earlier about we put all the information on the website that you need to be an informed investor. So from any of the houses, you click on the button that says view listing, and we're going to look at the exact sheet here. First, you're going to have a map. Now, you guys asked for this, and we worked with a web designer to get it for you. So you don't have to leave and go back out to Google Maps or however you search. So now you have a map of Memphis. You see where the house is located. Due east, 15-minute drive, is the Memphis International Airport. Now that's home to FedEx. FedEx is based in Memphis, Tennessee, has been since its conception. And they have 200 plus airplanes fly in and out of this airport every day, every 24 hours. It's a huge employer. It's their super hub. So a lot of our renters work at FedEx. So this house would be very attractive to somebody working at FedEx, moving a box from one location to another, driving a forklift or even an 18-wheeler. It's about 15 minutes due north to downtown Memphis, Tennessee. See where it says Medical District? That's going to be very close to the St. Jude location. And there's a lot of other big medical in Memphis, Tennessee, mostly because of that huge presence of St. Jude being here. You can imagine all the other things that spring off of that. So Le Bonheur is a big part of working in conjunction with St. Jude. So the way I've been explaining, St. Jude handles chemotherapy, anything chemical to treat cancer, and the Le Bonheur section of the pediatric oncology would remove tumors, anything to do with surgery. So you can imagine all the different offsprings that come along with having a huge medical presence like St. Jude. So you click on that button, it'll bring you back down into the page you were in. I've always put right below that map a button that you can easily access a crime map. Now this map will gauge how much crime is in the area. If I were an out-of-state investor, like most of you watching, I would want to know this. So that's why I make it so easy for you to see. Very easy to scale here. The light blue, less crime. Dark blue, more crime. So you can see this is in a light blue area. And in a moment, I'll show you how to dig in further and get more information about that area and the crime, if there is any. So as a brief little definition, a paragraph, sales price, this house is currently vacant because it's under renovation. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,115 square feet, built in 1970 in a B-class neighborhood. So it's a typical Memphis neighborhood. To the right over here, I have some definitions. So if you're wondering, well, what is a cash-on-cash return? What is an annualized return? What is a cap rate? It's all broken down here for you. If you wanted to return to the properties you were looking at, just hit this button down here on the bottom right that says return to available properties. Now, if you're wanting to buy a house, you hit the button that says reserve this property, and we'll walk you through that process in just a minute. But let's focus right now on this bottom button that says due diligence vault. Now, this is where the magic really happens. This is a vault that I build personally if I'm looking at buying an apartment complex, a piece of land to develop and sell to a home builder or to build homes on, anything I'm considering. My team knows, well, build a vault, so start a folder in the sky. It's a virtual filing cabinet, right? And place certain documents in there that James is going to want to see every time. So let's walk through what some of those documents are. The first thing on a single family rental is a scope of work. I want to know, what is it going to take to get this property from where it is today to the best property on that block? I want it to stand out. I want it to eliminate repairs for me if I'm going to keep it as a rental on my own, or for you as an investor in the future. So that means new roof, new HVAC, hard surface flooring in high traffic and wet areas, carpet in the bedrooms. Overwhelmingly, my tenants want carpet in the bedrooms. Yes, you will see some with hardwood. It's a shame to cover some pretty hardwood up sometimes. This is going to break it down for you. We're going to get really detailed and tell you everything that's going on in this house. In the bottom right-hand side, I've made it real convenient for you to get bedroom, bathroom square footage, and then your big ticket items. How old are they, or are they going to be brand new because the house is under renovation? So you need to know these things. So this house that we're looking at today in the Whitehaven area, 4100 Maumee, yep, has a brand new AC system, brand new water heater, brand new furnace, brand new roof. Those are your big ticket items. The plan is we're going to repair we're going to put them in brand new up front. For 1 year, you're going to get a warranty on all those items, but those are items that are most costly in the renovation. Out of this entire renovation, that makes up 60% of the cost of the renovation. We're going to put it in the mortgage, so 30-year fixed interest rate, really low interest rates currently, and the tenant is going to pay for those big ticket items instead of you. Now, when you buy a property that's not turnkey and it has a 15-year-old roof, window units instead of brand new HVAC, old water heater, and those things break, you can't go to your mortgage company and say, hey, by the way, I need $5,000, $7,000 to put on a new roof. You need to pull out your checkbook and write that check. I would much rather put everything I can into these 30-year fixed interest rates at 3.5% to 4.5% interest all day long. It's just a smarter investment, unless you're paying cash. Hey, if you're paying cash for the house, let's see how long that roof will last in some cases. But if you really want to attract a high-end tenant, somebody that's going to take care of that property and stay longer and sign a 2-year lease, this is the kind of work you're going to need to expect. The next thing we're going to put in there is a breakdown on the pro forma. So how did we get to our numbers? So you've got the sales price of $80,000. This house is renting for $795 a month. That gives you a net operating income of $6,500. How do we get to net operating income? We simply take your monthly rent, multiply by 12, minus all expenses. Well, what are the expenses? Bottom right-hand corner. It's broken down. It gives you a little pie chart. So vacancy. Some people would argue, well, James, vacancy really isn't an expense. The way I was taught, the way a lot of great teachers teach this business, you should expect a 4% vacancy if you're having a 3-year on average tenant stay. And ours is a little bit over 3 years right now. So over a 10-year period, every 3 years, your tenant moves out, and it takes on average 45 days to place a tenant. In my opinion, that's a little bit long. We have a better track record that placing tenants quicker at Foundation Property Management. That equals a 4% vacancy. Repairs. So I'm taking on this house 8% of the collected rent, even though it's got a brand new roof, water heater, HVAC, putting 8% of the collected rent aside. And now, by the way, you hold this money. My company does not. Put that $63 a month aside, because one day repairs are coming. And that'll give you plenty of money for the next time this roof needs to be replaced 15, 20 years from now, to go ahead and pull it out of maintenance reserve fund and pay for that roof. Insurance. So you got to have insurance on the property, especially if you have a mortgage, in case the house burns down or whatever could happen. Principal and interest. Interest rates are really low on this house. You're looking at $314 a month for your principal and your interest. Let me see what interest rate we're using here. 4.25%. So I just spoke with one of my great lenders. We have 4 preferred lenders that we work with. If you need to get hooked up with them, reach out to me and the team. Their information is also on the website. If you have over a 760 credit score, that's the interest rate you can get with one of my preferred lenders. If your credit score is a 740, it'd be 4.5%. So if you don't know your credit score at all times, like me, then let's work on that. If you're at a 740 credit score, to get you to a 760 credit score is so easy. Hey, pay that credit card down a little bit or spend some money on the credit card. Most of your guys' problems, because most of us are so diligent, we don't have big debt out there other than our real estate, right? Of course, property taxes, Uncle Sam's got to get his cut, $62.50 a month. And then property management. So you're going to pay foundation property management $63 a month to take care of all the heavy lifting, to be your boots on the ground for this property. So that's the breakdown. One of the things most people look at is cash on cash return, especially if you're using this very lucrative low interest 30-year fixed financing that we have available, and it won't be here forever. So don't fool yourself. We're living in the Super Bowl of when to buy properties with these low interest rates. Take your net operating income and divide that by the cash you had to take out of pocket to purchase this house. So to purchase this house, you need 20% down plus closing costs. That's going to equal $20,000. Your net operating income is $6,500 divided by $20,000, and that's how we come up with the 13% cash on cash return. So to break it down, a lot of you guys already know this, but maybe somebody's watching this video for the first time. This is what this business is all about. James, to buy this fully renovated property that I won't have any major ticket items for the next 10 to 15, maybe longer years, how much cash do you need from me? Well, I need 20% down plus closing costs. In this case, $20,000. The bank is going to finance the rest at, again, low interest rates. What is my return on that money that I gave you at closing? 13%. And we haven't even talked about tax benefits, mortgage reduction, and raise of rents over the coming years. Now, Memphis is a very linear market, so you're not going to see these rents go from $795 to $995 in a 24-month period. But all of these things can be calculated in to where that 13% cash on cash return is great already. If we start talking about tax benefits and all the other things, debt reduction, eventually this house will be paid off by your tenant if you don't pay anything extra in 30 years for sure, right? So there's so many benefits, but that cash on cash return is what so many of you guys asked me about. All right, let's go back to share screen. What else is in that diligence vault? Already a lot of good information. I bet you would agree. This is called the property data sheet. So this is all the information that I have available as a real estate broker in the state of Tennessee, now given to you. So through my subscriptions and all that. So neighborhood breakdown, tax assessment, how was this property assessed? And what are the exact taxes? You're never going to see estimated taxes or anything like that I have available. It's going to be exact data given to you in the pro formas and everything that I have for you. This is really good. So your property characteristics section. So here you have in 1991, the last time an appraiser was in this property, the data from that appraiser. Then you have the assessor's data. And if it were available, if a realtor had put some data in here, it would be in this column. So always go to that appraiser for the most accurate data. So he has 1,115 square feet. He actually put a tape measure to the house back in 1991. I would lean on that number for the exact square footage, where the assessor's off a little bit, 1,082 square feet. Not going to correct them. They might want to raise taxes just a tiny bit, $20 a year, if they thought the square footage was 1,115. So it gives you a lot of good information there. This is probably the first place my eyes goes, flood zone. So you shouldn't be buying properties in the flood zone in Memphis, Tennessee. We have so many great properties that aren't in the flood zone. There's your reason why. Memphis is nearly flood proof. Our western border is the Mississippi River. Tributaries go towards it. So therefore, Memphis should not flood. The whole state of Arkansas should flood before Memphis, Tennessee floods, because Memphis sits much higher than the state of Arkansas, our western neighbor. Enough talk about that. What you want to know, is my house in the flood zone? Well, here's proof from the source that this house is not in the flood zone. If you've seen my video about our turnkey investment checklist, it's one of the checklist items. So before we get involved with any property, my team knows they better look and see if it's in the flood zone before we spend any time, energy, money saying, should we buy this house? If it's in the flood zone, it's just a no-go. On to the next property. So check that out, each property that you're considering, called the property data sheet. This is a big one. So a lot of companies would never give you this kind of data. So this is what an appraiser is going to look at when they come out to appraise the property that we are selling. So they want the subject property. So that's going to be this column. And that's the property that we're selling, 4100 Maumee Street. What is it? That's a crazy name, Maumee, in the Whitehaven area. And then the 3 houses in the same vicinity, that's a key, needs to be in the same vicinity, so it shows you how far away they are. Same square footage range, so you don't need a house that's 2,200 square feet when your house is 1,100 square feet. Same bedroom and bathroom range, so you don't need a 5-bedroom home if you're looking at a 3-bedroom home. They need to be comparable. So these are called comparable number 1, comparable number 2, and comparable number 3. Sometimes you'll catch me and my team using the industry jargon comp. If you hear, oh, that's not a good comp, or that's a good comp, what they're talking about is a comparable sale. So to break it down real simple, an appraiser is going to be tasked with finding the value of your property. They are going to go out, they're going to find 3 homes, same vicinity, same square footage range, same age range, and hopefully that appraiser is using a house in the same condition. So that makes it a comparable property. They're going to find those 3 properties. They're going to see what they sold for. They're going to get an average on the square footage, multiply it by your square footage, and that's how you do it. So all that data is given to you. This might be too much data for some of you guys. And then for others, you dig into every little detail, and I love that because you're very diligent about what you're looking at in Memphis, Tennessee with my team. So now you know the house will appraise. Well, will it rent? There's the big question. Okay, so James, you showed me all the data showing that the house will appraise, and here's how. Now let's show you that the house is going to rent. So using Rentometer, you could subscribe to it. It's, I think, $100 a month. I'm not sure. But I'm giving it to you for free. So here we are. And yes, we're at the higher end of the market for the rent, but if we're going to have the nicest home in the area, you know, after the full renovation, new roof, new HVAC, new paint, all those things, it's going to stand out. So you want to see that it's not way off. Like we're asking $795 for this house. And this is showing in the 75th percentile, the nicest homes in the area. You're seeing an average of $788. But if you scroll down, you know, I like maps, you know, I like things in the same vicinity. You're going to see that there's houses renting in this area. Here's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath that rented half a mile away for $950. Here's one 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1.5 miles away, $865. Here's another one for $795, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and on and on and on. Totally confident we'll get the rent. Foundation property management. So like I said earlier in the video, this is the magic sauce. This is what is going to make you such a happy client that you come back again to add that next property to your portfolio. Many of you have moved properties from other managers to us. You know that's not what I'm here for. But if you need our assistance in any way, if you're watching this video, you like what you see, you maybe aren't happy with the results you're getting, well, I'd love to talk to you. If there's a way I can help you, you reach out to me. But this is what's going to make it possible for you to be 2,000 or more miles away and know that everything's being taken care of. I've got one motto here at Foundation Property Management. I manage properties for my investors as if I owned them myself. So every decision made on your property is if James Walkup himself owned it. Who we're placing in that property. What repairs are necessary. I got a call yesterday. You know, the tenant said, I've got a wasp nest outside on the soffit of my house. Guess what? I do it too at my house. And I went out there with a broom and I knocked it down and sprayed it with some spray and had fun with it. Took my kids out there and showed them how you knock a little bitty wasp nest down. You are a tenant in a very nice house. Go get you a broom, go get you some wasp spray, knock it down. It was no infestation. It was this big. That's a small example of how I manage properties for you as if I owned them myself. A lot of property management companies, not that they're bad people. They're just a big, big company that their process is they get a call from the tenant, they dispatch somebody to take care of the problem. The squeaky wheel for sure. And then they charge the guy in California or Australia, wherever they are, because, hey, they got plenty of money, right? Well, to have anybody who's licensed and insured go out and handle that wasp nest, it's $100. Well, that's my $100 if I own that property. If you own the property, that's your $100. So off my tangent there. But one of the things I would encourage you to do is whoever you're dealing with across the nation that's a turnkey provider, check out the marketing that they have going on for their tenants, because that's a big part of property management. Do the properties look good on TurnkeyInvest.com? Actually, they look better on Foundation, because at this point, most of them are under renovation. And many of them on Foundation are under renovation. We're already marketing them for a tenant, and that's how we're finding them so quickly. But does the marketing material on your property manager's website match what you would want as a owner of this property? So let's take you through something that's in the diligence vault. I've got a letter to you guys from me and my family, and it explains what I do. So I buy, renovate, manage great properties here in Memphis, Tennessee. Why Memphis, Tennessee? With FedEx, St. Jude, Nike has a huge presence here. We have less than a 1% eviction rate, 2.75 year plus stay with our tenants, high quality of standards. And then we offer everything under one roof that makes this possible for you guys, so you don't have to piecemeal it together. If you were in California buying houses in Memphis from a realtor, then you need a renovation crew. Then you need a property manager. And you might go through 10 or 12. Believe me, I've been through hundreds of different roofers and plumbers and sheetrockers until I found my core team. And my core team is like family to me. Treat them right, pay them on time. And that letter just kind of talks about who we are, what we're doing. But this is going to be really helpful for you. So this is the exact process of working with our company. So right now you might be in the begin discovery mode, where you're just looking around on the website. You're in the diligence vault. You're reading these things. You're watching these videos. When you get ready to take action, so I want to buy this property, you click on the button that says order now. Look here, we haven't even talked about how you're going to get financed. Very few times is anyone not qualified. If you're spending time watching this video, you're probably the person that's been diligent with your finances to where you will be able to buy your first property. Take action, click the order now button. So if there's a property you want to move forward, hit that button, fill out a quick form. Our team will then send you the purchase and sale agreement via DocuSign. You sign a few places. Then we'll go into the pre-approval process. We'll hook you up with one of our preferred lenders, and they will walk you through your first purchase. Now, here's the great part. All of our preferred lenders work with investors, and they know how to tailor make each situation to where it's going to be easy for you to get in that second, third, fourth, fifth property and beyond. A regular loan officer from a great company who does not know the investment strategies, the investment world inside and out, can get you that first loan, no problem. But when it comes time for the second and third, it can be a real problem. I'll give you a quick example. So debt to income ratio, very simple. Your gross income and your debts, divide your debts into your gross income, debt to income ratio, 51%, whatever it is. That becomes a problem if you don't have a huge income when you start to amass a portfolio of 10 or more properties. All of my preferred lenders will count a portion of your gross rent towards your income. A regular lender does not know anything about that. They don't do that. So this allows you to keep a debt to income ratio small enough to be able to buy that third, fourth, fifth property and beyond. Hazard insurance. So we have an in-house team that can give you our group policy. It's going to be better rates, better coverage than what you're able to find on your own most of the time. But if you want to use your own hazard insurance provider, maybe use State Farm. I've used them for years, Farm Bureau, that's fine. But we will take care of all that heavy lifting for you if you want us to. We want to be the concierge throughout this whole process. My team can handle all of this for you, but we can't give your social security number and bank statements, things like that to the lender. You'll need to do that. Consideration. So no real estate purchase and sale agreement is complete until you send in earnest money. So you'll send earnest money to our attorney who will hold it. I don't want to hold money. The attorney will hold this money until the renovation is complete. At that time, we will send out all the inspectors. Like I said earlier, a third-party home inspector is going to come out, inspect this home, and report back to you the exact condition of this house, anything wrong with it. And believe me, if they don't find anything wrong, then they didn't get paid their money. You know, they didn't make their money, because I build brand new houses as rentals. The home inspector is always going to find one or two items. I'm going to come in and replace them. We're going to move towards closing. Then the appraiser needs to come out and verify this house is worth what we sold it to you for. By the way, every agreement that I send out is contingent upon appraisal. A lot of companies, they'll tell you this house won't appraise. You're going to have to bring money to the table. Or they don't have a contingency in the paperwork you're signing to buy that house. All of my homes are sold to you contingent upon them appraising. Lastly, we're going to have a termite inspection. My team will handle all those things. Don't worry. You don't have to call a termite company. A termite inspection just to prove that the house is termite free. We don't have a huge problem with termites in Memphis. It's just something that the mortgage company asks for. And I like that you get it, because you need to know that house is termite free when you're buying it. Once that's all cleared up, now we're ready to go to closing when you'll actually own it. So all you've put out of pocket so far is $5,000, which is totally refundable if any of these things don't line up. That $5,000 will now be applied towards your down payment and closing costs. So remember, you're going to need 20% down and $4,300 worth of closing costs on every house. So that'll be applied towards the amount you need at the attorney. You'll wire the attorney the remainder of money needed to close. By that time, more than 80% of our houses are already tenanted. And so it's so easy, because we're already the property manager. We just flip the light switch from current ownership to new ownership. And from that day moving forward, prorated, you receive rent on that property. Rinse and repeat, on to the next property. Then congratulations, you've now started building your portfolio. The last one, enjoy your cash flow from the property. Use it to pay down the loan principal. That's one way, or for the next down payment on the next house. Repeat the whole process. Now you're on the way to realizing your goals. That's the entire process of working with us. Foundation Property Management. We give you a breakdown of who we are and what you can expect from our team right here in this PDF. We give you a list of all of our preferred lenders. So if you want to talk to more than one, they're all great. Each of them own rental properties themselves. They are totally set up with their teams to work primarily with investors. And they know the ins and outs of how you can grow a portfolio more than a loan officer at some big bank, and they've never done an investment loan. Our closing attorney, here's all their information. If you need help setting up an LLC or anything complicated that, any legal questions, I'm going to say, call my attorney. I'm no lawyer, and I lean on them for a lot of advice as well. And then, of course, our hazard insurance policy provider. And, of course, you're always invited to come to our campus, meet the team, give us a little bit of warning. Hey, I'll be there in 2 weeks. We will walk you through the process, a lot like this video, put you in the pickup truck with me. We'll go looking at properties, go out with Stephanie. She's a real pro. See some properties under renovation, see some properties that we haven't even started renovation. Those are fun to see. And the final product. When you leave here, you'll have a good geographic understanding of where we invest and why, and where we stay away from and why. We'll show you some emerging areas. We'll show you new construction, even multifamily. So I would encourage you guys to go to YouTube and find the TurnkeyInvest site. So once you find TurnkeyInvest, the green logo, the house with the green circle, you'll see Stephanie on here a lot. You'll see these videos. Like the video. That's always a good thing. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to get an alert, hit that little bell. But if you don't want to get the alert, that's fine too. And just like I said earlier, always check up on your property manager and the type of advertising they're doing for your properties to find these great tenants who are going to take care of your property and stay longer term. Go to our Foundation PM YouTube page, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Every time we post a house for rent, you'll now be seeing that. You need to know what your boots on the ground are doing, whatever city you're investing in remotely, from acquisitions, renovations, and property management. Those are the three keys that if they're doing each of those properly, you're in good hands. If any of those are lacking, you can be in real trouble. So anybody that's made it to the end of this video, I want to invite you out October 2nd and 3rd. It's going to be a great time. It creates a mastermind of investors from all over the country coming together. You leave here with, being Facebook friends with them and Instagram friends with them and having their cell phone, and getting to know the other investors is one of the key parts about these events. Here's what I would have done differently. Or, man, I bought this house from James and it has had the same tenant in it and there's just no problems. They might even say, hey, I bought this house and probably wouldn't have bought that one again. Maybe it was in a rougher area. People ask me this all the time. James, what's your advice? What should I buy? My answer is always buy the nicest property you can afford to buy, because you're going to come with less headaches most of the time. You're buying a higher class of tenant. So the reason most people don't invest in the higher end properties is, on paper, the returns are lower. I would argue over a 10-year period with longer tenant stays, people taking better care of the property, they might be higher. But it really boils down to capital. So it's really easy to get into a $70,000 house, 20% down and closing costs, $20,000. That's an easy investment to jump into. So maybe I'll just do one of those and see how it pans out. But if you really want to protect yourself, you start getting into those higher end properties, even the executive level rentals, and we can walk you through what one of those looks like. You're just putting people in the property that have more means and have, let's look at it this way, something to go after in the worst case if they tore your property up. You could sue them, win, garnish wages and retirement accounts and all those things. Not that that's a real common thing. We had 2 evictions last year, 2. So I appreciate you guys. I'm humbled and honored. You've made this a record-breaking year, COVID-19 or not. Let's talk about that real quick. We collected all of our rent through COVID. So Memphis is working. Memphis is solid. If you have any questions, reach out to the team. Schedule a one-on-one call, Zoom call with me if you want to see me face-to-face. And I want to be a catalyst to help you achieve your real estate investment goals here in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks.